Good afternoon, students of Chinese YMCA Secondary School. We are now going to play you the news clip from yesterday.
Tragedy at Ocean Park today. A visitor died after he was struck in the head at a Halloween attraction. As Elmi Lung reports, executives at the theme park have vowed to get to the bottom of what happened.
The accident happened at this attraction called Buried Alive. It's a haunted house at Ocean Park's annual Halloween fest. A 21-year-old man was found unconscious just before 2 p.m. and later pronounced dead at hospital. It's understood the visitor took a wrong turn upon leaving a slide and was then hit in the head by a descending mock coffin. Ocean Park confirmed the death and said it's too early to rule if the facility has a design problem.
The design was reviewed by an engineering surveyor, Hong Kong EMSD, and our own internal safety reviews. And so further investigation will be required to understand if there was a design issue, an operational issue, or something else.
The Halloween attractions are currently accessible only to guests of private events and won't be opened to the general public until early October. Still, the fatal accident is already haunting others. This visitor said he did not expect this to happen at a trusted venue like Ocean Park. Elmi Long, TVB News.
A woman died after being attacked by someone with a knife on board a bus in Taiwan this afternoon. A man later jumped out of a window of the upper deck of the bus, but was injured and sent to hospital for treatment. We get more details from our Caleb Lung.
The incident happened at around 4 p.m. on a number 118 city bus double-decker. According to the police, a man stabbed the woman with a 30-centimeter long knife. The bus, which was traveling to Changsha, stopped at Chaiwan Road near Fuxing Court after the attack. Sources indicated the victim and the suspect were a couple. The man is 23 years old, while the victim was 20. They had an argument on the upper deck of the vehicle. There were other passengers on board the bus at the time. The suspect attempted to escape after the attack by jumping out of an upper deck window. He was injured during the jump and was taken to Pamela Yud Nathersoul Eastern Hospital for treatment. The woman was also taken to hospital but was confirmed dead upon arrival. The police have classified the case as murder. An investigation is underway. Caleb Loong, TVB News.
More waste paper has piled up on roadsides and in back alleys across the city. This comes after many recyclers started a 7-day boycott of waste paper over a delay in getting export licenses from mainland authorities. Rachel Lung has more about the latest situation.
More cardboard boxes and other waste paper could be seen piling up on roadsides in different parts of the city. In Shamshaipo, despite signs put up by this recycler notifying people that waste paper will no longer be accepted, some still came with scrap paper to try their luck. They were turned away. Some local residents were not happy with what they saw this morning. This woman worries that the piles of waste paper will bring about unpleasant odors, as well as rodent and cockroach problems. The recyclers' boycott also means the city's cleaners have to work twice as hard. To deal with the fallout, the administration has designated a number of community recycling centers as temporary storage sites for the waste paper. But so far, only about 30 kilograms of waste paper has been sent to the center because the material will not earn a dime for the collector. The week-long boycott by the recyclers comes after the State Council in Beijing announced in July that the country will stop importing 24 types of waste materials by the end of the year, including waste plastics and unsorted waste paper. As authorities tighten their control over waste material imports, there have been delays in paper mills getting their fourth quarter approval for bringing in waste paper from outside the mainland. That in turn has impacted on Hong Kong's paper recycling trade. Rachel Ling, TVB News.
Now we turn our attention over to Britain, where an 18-year-old man has been arrested in connection with yesterday's bomb attack on a London commuter train that injured 29 people. Britain has raised its threat level from severe to critical, believing yet another terror attack is imminent. British police investigating the Parsons Green bomb attack now have an 18-year-old man in custody. The man was arrested by Kent police in the port area of Dover on the English Channel. He'll be charged under the country's Terrorism Act. Prime Minister Theresa May remains defiant despite the fact her country has been the target of 5 terror attacks so far this year. She says raising the threat level to critical is needed.
For this period, military personnel will replace police officers on guard duties at certain protected sites which are not accessible to the public. The public will see more armed police on the transport network and on our streets, providing extra protection.
Even with today's arrest, British police are still chasing down the people they suspect of being behind the bomb. The Islamic State group officially claimed responsibility for the blast. The homemade bomb erupted during the crowded morning rush hour yesterday. The majority of victims suffered flash burns and are being treated at hospitals. Wrought with so many terror attacks, the London mayor insists police can't keep residents safe with so many budget cuts.
Since 2010, we've lost hundreds of millions of pounds from the police budget. Now, it's simply not possible for a global city like London to carry on keeping our citizens, visitors and businesses safe if the government carries on making the cuts they've been making.
This video shows the device still burning after the explosion. One terror expert says it's obvious it didn't fully explode, which would have definitely killed people. He said it looks exactly like the one used in the attempted terror attack in London on July 21st, 2005.
I would say this was a failed high explosive device that could be initiated with some sort of electrical fuse. In the magazines online, they've been encouraged to use Christmas tree fairy lights.
U.S. President Donald Trump offered prayers on behalf of America.
I want to say that our hearts and prayers go out to the people of London who suffered a vicious terrorist attack.
The same sentiment was expressed by both German and French leaders at a meeting in Berlin.
North Korea said today it aims to reach an equilibrium of military force with the United States. The remarks came after the U.S. signaled its patience for diplomacy is wearing thin after Pyongyang fired a missile over Japan for the second time in less than a month. James Aiken reports.
North Korea's state-run television today aired video of the country's latest missile launch and photographs of beaming leader Kim Jong-un. The missile flew over northern Japan yesterday and landed in the Pacific about 2,000 kilometers to the east. Kim was quoted as saying that his country aims to reach an equilibrium of military force with America, so U.S. officials dare not talk about military options. But in Washington, where diplomacy is nearing its limits, that's exactly what they're talking about.
Been kicking the can down the road, and we're out of road. There is a military option. Now, it's not what we would prefer to do. So what we have to do is call on all nations, call on everyone to do everything we can to address this global problem short of war.
President Donald Trump, who has promised not to allow North Korea to threaten the U.S. with a nuclear-tipped missile, reiterated that America will not be intimidated.
I am more confident than ever that our options in addressing this threat are both effective and overwhelming.
Yesterday, the UN Security Council condemned Pyongyang's missile launch as highly provocative. The world body had already stepped up sanctions in response to North Korea's nuclear bomb test earlier this month, including a ban on the country's textile exports and a cap on crude oil imports. But diplomats from both China and Russia are pushing back against U.S. calls to apply more pressure on North Korea. They say the U.S. should refrain from threats and do more to find ways to resume dialogue and negotiation.
To implement political and diplomatic solutions that are provided for in the resolution. And without implementing this, we also will consider it as a non-compliance with the resolution, non-fully implementing the resolution.
James Aiken, TVB News.